Once, Gautama Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This profound advice holds the essence of living fully and peacefully. By focusing on the present, we engage deeply with our life as it unfolds, instead of getting caught up in regrets or worries. This teaching is at the heart of our journey through the principles of not forcing anything in life. When we stay present, we are better able to see the beauty and opportunities that each moment offers. We don't waste energy trying to force future outcomes or lamenting what might have been. Instead, we accept and appreciate what is, right here and now. This approach doesn't just enhance our personal well-being. It transforms how we interact with others and our environment, fostering a deeper connection and understanding. As we explore these ideas together, consider how embracing the present moment can free you from unnecessary stress and open the door to a more peaceful life. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into how these principles can be practically applied to daily living, enhancing not only our personal happiness but also contributing to a more harmonious world. Number 1. Acceptance of the present moment. Imagine you are sitting quietly by a serene lake, watching the gentle ripples on the water. This moment right now is all you truly have. As a wise Buddhist monk might say, accepting the present moment is crucial to living a life free from the stress of forcing outcomes. As we often struggle with the desire to control every aspect of our lives, from our careers to our personal relationships, this struggle can lead to frustration and disappointment, because, in reality, many things are beyond our control. The teaching of acceptance invites us to surrender to the moment as it is, not as we wish it to be. By doing so, we open ourselves up to experiencing life more fully, without the constant pressure to change what is inherently fleeting and impermanent. When we accept the present moment, we stop fighting against the natural flow of life. This doesn't mean giving up on our dreams or stopping our efforts to improve our lives. Rather, it means recognizing that our true peace comes not from external circumstances, but from our internal response to them. By embracing the present, we cultivate a sense of peace and stability that stays with us, even when the external world is chaotic. In practical terms, acceptance can start small. It might be as simple as acknowledging our feelings on a challenging day, or enjoying a quiet moment without planning the next activity. Every small act of acceptance adds up, helping to build a more peaceful life. The journey towards deep acceptance is ongoing. It requires patience, practice, and most importantly, compassion towards ourselves. It's about gently reminding ourselves that it's okay not to have all the answers, and that it's okay to be exactly where we are, flaws and all. Number 2, embracing the flow of life. As we continue our journey, let's think about a leaf floating down a river. It doesn't resist the current. Instead, it moves with the flow, navigating around rocks and branches effortlessly. This is what it means to embrace the flow of life. When we accept the present moment, as discussed earlier, our next step is learning to move with life's natural rhythms, rather than against them. Embracing the flow of life is about understanding that life is a series of changes and that these changes are natural. Just like seasons shift and day turns into night, our lives too are in constant motion. Sometimes this motion brings joy and other times challenges. Embracing the flow means accepting both with equanimity. By letting go of our need to control every outcome, we reduce stress and anxiety. Imagine not worrying about every little detail, but instead trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. This trust doesn't appear overnight. It builds as you experience more of life's ups and downs and realize that you are capable of navigating through them. Practically, this might look like being more flexible with your plans or more open to new experiences. It might mean adjusting your expectations or finding the courage to take opportunities that scare you. Each step towards embracing the flow makes you more resilient and more in tune with the natural course of your life. Remember, life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. As you learn to go with the flow, you'll find yourself more connected to the joy and spontaneity of life. You become more present and, paradoxically, more able to influence your life positively because you are not wasting energy fighting against the inevitable. Before we explore the next principle, which is understanding impermanence, reflect on how you might begin to let life's currents guide you more. What areas of your life need more flexibility? Where could you let go a little to enjoy the ride more fully? And as we ponder these questions, don't forget to comment below with your thoughts or experiences about embracing the flow of life. Subscribe to our channel for more insights like this. Number 3. Understanding impermanence. Life is a dance of change. Every moment brings something new, making our experiences and emotions as fleeting as clouds in a sky. This concept is known as impermanence, and it's a core aspect of Buddhist philosophy. Embracing this truth can dramatically shift how we approach our lives, especially when we face the urge to force outcomes. Impermanence teaches us that everything, from our happiest moments to our greatest challenges, is temporary. This can be a comforting thought when we're dealing with difficulties. It reminds us that pain and trouble are not permanent fixtures in our lives. On the flip side, understanding that joyous times also pass encourages us to cherish them more deeply. In our daily lives, this might manifest as a change in our relationships, job transitions, or even shifts in our health. Recognizing that these changes are part of life's natural flow helps us to remain flexible and reduces the anxiety that comes from clinging to any particular state. For example, consider when a favorite dish breaks or when a job you thought was secure is suddenly not. Instead of lamenting these losses, understanding impermanence guides us to accept them as part of the inevitable ebb and flow of life. This acceptance can lessen the blow and help us recover and adapt more quickly. Moreover, by acknowledging the impermanent nature of life, we can live more fully in the present moment. We learn not to take our current circumstances for granted and to appreciate the people and experiences we have right now. This appreciation enriches our lives and deepens our connections with others. Impermanence also offers a valuable lesson in humility and detachment. It teaches us that holding on too tightly to anything, be it a person, a possession, or a position, can lead to suffering. Instead, we learn to appreciate what we have while we have it, and to let go gracefully when the time comes. As we prepare to explore the next principle, letting go of attachments, think about how the understanding of impermanence can help you release the unnecessary pressure of forcing things to be a certain way. Number 4. Letting go of attachments. There's a liberating power in releasing our grip on the things we hold dear. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But in the philosophy of Buddhism, letting go of attachments is a vital step toward true freedom and happiness. This principle deeply connects with our theme of not forcing anything in life. Attachments can be to physical objects, relationships, or even our dreams and expectations. They often tie us down and create a fear of loss that dictates our actions and emotions. When we cling too tightly, we risk being dragged down by the weight of our desires, preventing us from moving freely with the ebb and flow of life. Consider a child building a sandcastle on the beach. They invest time and effort, and while they may enjoy the process, the incoming tide will inevitably wash it away. If the child understands this and enjoys the creation without clinging to it, they experience joy without the suffering that comes with loss. As adults, embracing this attitude helps us manage life's inevitable changes and losses more gracefully. In practical terms, Letting go might mean decluttering our homes, stepping back from toxic relationships, or reevaluating goals that no longer serve us. Each act of letting go, though possibly painful at first, clears space for new growth and opportunities. It can bring a sense of lightness and peace, knowing that we are not defined by our possessions or our relationships, but by our ability to adapt and find contentment in changing circumstances. Moreover, when we release our grip on expectations, how we think our lives should go, we open ourselves to unexpected pleasures and paths. This doesn't mean we stop caring or striving. Rather, we do so with a mindset that is open to different outcomes, trusting that we can handle them. Number 5, practicing mindfulness. A gentle awareness can change how we see and interact with the world. This is the essence of mindfulness, a practice rooted deeply in Buddhist teachings that aligns beautifully with our theme of not forcing anything in life. Mindfulness involves being fully present in each moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we engage in mindfulness, we tune into the details of our experiences, whether it's the texture of the food we eat, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or the emotions passing through our minds. This attentiveness helps us appreciate the present without obsessing over past regrets or future anxieties. In daily life, practicing mindfulness might look like really listening when someone talks to us without planning our next response. Or it might mean savoring our morning coffee, fully engaging with its aroma and flavor. These practices help us cultivate a deeper connection to the here and now, reducing the urge to force outcomes or rush through our days. The benefits of mindfulness are profound. It reduces stress and improves our mental clarity, making it easier to make decisions and solve problems. It also enhances our emotional resilience, empowering us to handle life's ups and downs with a balanced perspective. Moreover, mindfulness encourages us to respond rather than react to life's events. By observing our impulses without acting on them immediately, we gain the freedom to choose actions that align with our values and long-term well-being, rather than being driven by fleeting emotions. As we wrap up this discussion on mindfulness, remember that the practice isn't about achieving perfection or completely emptying our minds of thoughts. It's about returning, again and again, to the present moment with kindness towards ourselves. Number 6, seeking inner peace. Finding calm in the storm is a skill we can all cultivate. This is the heart of seeking inner peace, a crucial aspect of our discussion on not forcing anything in life. Inner peace isn't about having a quiet setting around us. It's about developing a tranquility that endures, even amid chaos. Inner peace starts from within. It's like building a sanctuary in your mind where you can retreat, find clarity, and regain strength, regardless of what's happening outside. This sanctuary is strengthened through practices like meditation, reflection, and the mindfulness we discussed earlier. In everyday life, seeking inner peace could mean taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and simply be. It might involve walking in nature, reading something inspirational, or engaging in a hobby that brings joy. These activities aren't just pleasant, they're foundational to maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. The beauty of cultivating inner peace is that it doesn't require any specific circumstances. It's accessible to everyone, everywhere. Whether you're in a bustling city or a quiet countryside, the practice of finding peace within can transform your experience of the world. Additionally, this pursuit of peace helps us in not forcing things. When we're at peace, we're less likely to push against life's natural rhythm. We become more accepting of what is, and less attached to specific outcomes. This doesn't mean we don't strive to improve our situations, but we do so from a place of calm, not desperation. Number 7, trusting the process. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a profound emphasis on understanding the nature of existence and embracing life's unfolding events with a trusting heart. This idea brings us to our next principle, trusting the process. It's about believing that each step in our life serves a purpose, even if its importance isn't immediately clear. Trusting the process is akin to planting a seed. You provide the soil, water, and sunlight, but ultimately the seed must germinate and grow in its own time. You can't rush its development without risking its health. Similarly, in our lives, many outcomes we desire require time and patience, and they must unfold in their own natural rhythm. This trust can alleviate much of the anxiety and urgency we feel when we try to force things to happen before their time. It teaches us patience and reinforces the idea that not all aspects of our lives can be controlled. For instance, you can prepare diligently for a job interview or work hard towards a promotion, but some factors, like timing or the decision-making process of others, are out of your hands. In day-to-day life, trusting the process might manifest as staying persistent with your efforts without obsessing over immediate results. Whether it's improving a skill, repairing a relationship, or recovering from a setback, the principle remains the same. Give your best, then allow the process to unfold. Moreover, this trust doesn't mean being passive. It's an active engagement with life, coupled with a surrender to the uncontrollable elements. It's doing your part and then stepping back to let the universe handle the rest. This balance is what cultivates a deep and enduring peace, as it aligns your efforts with the flow of life rather than against it. Number 8. Reducing desires and expectations. In our exploration of not forcing anything in life, we now turn to the concept of reducing desires and expectations. This idea is a cornerstone in many spiritual practices, including Buddhism, where it is believed that much of human suffering is rooted in our desires and the expectations we attach to them. When we set expectations too high or cling too tightly to desires, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Reducing these not only helps us embrace life as it comes, but also aligns us with the reality that everything doesn't always have to go as planned to be meaningful or enjoyable. Consider how refreshing it feels to enjoy a day with no set plans, allowing yourself to simply be and do whatever feels right in the moment. This is an example of reducing expectations, where the lack of a strict agenda can lead to unexpected joy and new experiences. If you've ever had a day like this, feel free to share your story in the comments below. Your experiences might inspire others to try this liberating approach. Reducing desires doesn't mean abandoning ambition or not having goals. Rather, it's about approaching these goals with flexibility, open to outcomes that might be different but just as rewarding as what we originally planned. It's about appreciating the journey itself, not just the destination. This practice can also help us become more present in our daily lives. Without the burden of constant wanting and the anxiety of unmet expectations, we find more space to notice and appreciate the little things, moments that might otherwise be overshadowed by our preoccupations with achieving specific outcomes. As we prepare to dive into the next principle, practicing compassion and kindness, keep in mind how reducing desires and expectations can not only lessen your own suffering, but also increase your capacity to attend to others. Stay tuned as we explore how kindness and compassion naturally flourish in a space where less is forced and more is lovingly allowed. Number 9. Practicing compassion and kindness. As we navigate the path of not forcing anything in our lives, it's essential to integrate the practice of compassion and kindness. These virtues are fundamental to living harmoniously and can transform our interactions and relationships profoundly. Compassion involves understanding the struggles of others and wishing to alleviate their suffering, while kindness is the action we take to manifest these feelings in the world. When we reduce our desires and expectations, as discussed previously, we open up more space in our hearts to genuinely care for others. In daily life, practicing compassion and kindness can be as simple as offering a listening ear to a friend or helping a neighbor in need. These acts of kindness aren't just beneficial for the recipients, they enrich our own lives, providing a deep sense of satisfaction and connection. Moreover, by approaching interactions with compassion, we become more patient and less likely to force our opinions on others. We learn to accept people as they are, which is a form of embracing the flow of life. This acceptance allows for deeper relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Imagine how different our communities would look if each of us took the time to act out of kindness and compassion daily. Such a society would be less about what we expect to receive and more about what we are willing to give, creating a collective environment of support and care. Number 10. Cultivating patience. In our exploration of not forcing anything in life, the practice of cultivating patience is pivotal. Patience is not merely waiting passively. It's about maintaining a calm and understanding attitude while we wait. This virtue is deeply intertwined with mindfulness and compassion, enhancing our ability to navigate life's inevitable delays and uncertainties with grace. Patience in daily life might look like remaining calm during a traffic jam or waiting for a slow computer without frustration. It involves recognizing that some things simply cannot be hurried and that getting angry or upset won't make them happen any faster. Instead, patience teaches us to use these moments as opportunities to practice being present and to find joy even in delays. Consider the process of teaching a child to tie their shoes. It requires repeated explanations, demonstrations, and a lot of waiting. If we rush the child or express irritation, we not only make the experience stressful for them, but also for ourselves. By approaching the teaching with patience, we allow the child to learn at their own pace, making the learning process enjoyable and fulfilling for both. Patience also plays a crucial role in achieving long-term goals. Whether it's pursuing a degree, improving a skill, or building a business, these endeavors require time and persistence. The ability to stay the course, even when progress seems slow, is what eventually leads to success. Patience helps us to stick with our efforts, even when the results aren't immediately apparent. In relationships, patience allows us to give others the time they need to grow and change. It helps us to hold space for people to make mistakes and learn from them without judgment or pressure. This creates a supportive environment where deep, meaningful connections can flourish. Moreover, practicing patience helps us reduce stress and avoid making hasty decisions that we might later regret. It gives us the clarity to think through our decisions and ensure they align with our values and long-term objectives. Number 11. Understanding the nature of suffering. In Buddhist teachings, a deep exploration into the nature of suffering reveals much about the human condition and our pursuit of happiness. Understanding suffering is not about becoming pessimistic, but about recognizing the sources of pain and learning how to address them constructively. This awareness is essential as we learn to not force anything in our lives. Suffering in many forms arises from our desires and attachments, as we've discussed in earlier parts of this series. Whether it's the pain of loss, the fear of failure, or the frustration of unmet expectations, these experiences are common to all of us. By understanding that suffering is part of life, we can approach it with a mindset that seeks to learn and grow from these experiences rather than avoid or suppress them. In daily life, this understanding might manifest when dealing with a personal setback. Instead of beating ourselves up, we can look at what the situation teaches us about our expectations, our resilience, and our true priorities. For instance, losing a job might initially feel devastating, but it can also be a turning point, guiding us towards a career that aligns more closely with our passions and values. Furthermore, understanding suffering enhances our empathy. When we recognize our own struggles in others, we are more inclined to extend compassion and support rather than judgment. This shared human experience can bond us, creating stronger communities and deeper relationships. It's also important to note that understanding suffering is not an invitation to resign ourselves to misery. Instead, it's about acknowledging that while pain is inevitable, prolonged suffering is often a matter of perspective and choice. We have the power to choose our responses, to learn from our pain, and to find meaning in adversity. This approach does not eliminate challenges, but it changes how we experience them. It teaches us that our hardest times are often sources of profound personal growth and understanding. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to practice the principles we've discussed. Patience, compassion, and detachment. Now move on our next part. Number 12. Embracing simplicity. In the pursuit of not forcing anything in life, embracing simplicity can be a transformative principle. Simplicity in this context means stripping away the unnecessary, focusing on what truly matters, and finding joy and satisfaction in the uncomplicated aspects of our daily lives. The beauty of simplicity lies in its quiet power to clear away clutter, not just physical clutter, but also the mental and emotional clutter that distracts us from the essence of life. By simplifying our lives, we reduce the number of desires we chase after, which in turn decreases the potential for frustration and discontent. Simplicity can be practiced in many ways, from decluttering our living spaces to streamlining our schedules. By adopting a simpler lifestyle, we allow ourselves more time and space to enjoy the present moment, to engage fully with the people around us, and to appreciate the small pleasures that often go unnoticed in the rush of a busier life. If you're finding this discussion on simplicity resonating with you, consider how you might start to simplify your own life. What are the things you could do without? How might less be more in your current situation? Remember, each small step towards simplicity helps in reducing the overall complexity of life. And if you appreciate these insights, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel Buddhism Philosophy for more content like this. Moreover, a simpler life aligns perfectly with the principles of mindfulness and patience. When we're not overwhelmed by possessions or commitments, we can more easily find the mental space to practice these virtues. This, in turn, helps us in not forcing outcomes, but rather allowing life to unfold naturally, which is more harmonious and less stressful. Simplicity also fosters a deeper appreciation for the things we do have. It teaches us the value of quality over quantity, of relationships over possessions, and of experiences over acquisitions. This shift in perspective can lead to greater happiness and a more profound sense of fulfillment. As we prepare to explore the final principle in our series, Finding Joy in the Journey, think about how embracing simplicity has not only made your life easier, but also richer. Stay tuned as we conclude our discussions with a look at how all these principles help us to find lasting joy in the everyday journey of life. Number 13. Finding Joy in the Journey. The culmination of our exploration into not forcing anything in life brings us to a delightful and vital principle: finding joy in the journey. This concept encourages us to appreciate the process itself rather than fixating solely on outcomes. It's about discovering happiness not just at the destination, but along the way. Finding joy in the journey means celebrating the small successes and learning from the challenges. It involves seeing the beauty in the everyday, a child's laughter, a shared meal with family, or the quiet moments of reflection. By focusing on these moments, we cultivate a sense of contentment that is not dependent on achieving specific goals or acquiring material possessions. In practice, this could look like taking a walk and genuinely noticing the world around you, the colors, sounds, and smells. Or it could mean taking pleasure in your daily tasks, finding ways to make them enjoyable rather than just chores to be completed. This shift in perspective transforms routine activities into opportunities for joy and engagement. It's also about resilience, about bouncing back from setbacks with a perspective that every experience, good or bad, is a part of your growth. By adopting this mindset, we reduce the pressure we often put on ourselves to perform or to meet certain standards, and instead, we learn to value life as an ongoing adventure. As you reflect on how you can find more joy in your daily journey, remember that this is not about ignoring life's difficulties. Instead, it's about embracing them as part of the rich tapestry of your life. Each experience, whether a lesson or a blessing, contributes to your unique story. We hope this series has inspired you to take a step back from forcing things to happen and to enjoy the natural flow of life. As you implement these principles, observe how they change your interactions with the world and enhance your overall sense of well-being. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of life's profound truths. We invite you to continue reflecting on these ideas and integrating them into your daily living. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Buddhism Philosophy, for more insights into living a more mindful and fulfilling life. Your engagement helps us bring more valuable content to you and others seeking peace and purpose in their journeys.